Hey YouTube, welcome back to another Ripple episode, and today we're going to be going over the massive conception that Ripple cannot surpass $1, $2, $3, even $10. Well, in this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how it can reach and surpass easily the $1,000 mark. So what I've first of all got here, just so I can just explain it to you first. This currently is probably the best way of explaining how Swift operates. The Nostra Vostra system that we currently use today in the markets, which is, it takes time, there's friction, it's not cost effective, it's the central banks that are gaining the profitable margins from the small to medium sized business banks. So as you can see here, you've got all the different banking industry, European banking industry, Americas, the UK, Chinese, Japanese. There's a lot more to it, but this is just a brief understanding of how it exactly works. So, for example, CLC, basically you could just comprehend from the meaning of Swift and what Swift actually is. So from that, as you can see, if these banks want to send money through this channel, they have to use CLS, which basically is Swift, and it would basically mean going through a correspondent from bank A over into bank B to bank C to bank E, and then obviously to the final payout consumer. Now what Ripple is getting lined up ready to go is this. So as you can see, rather than having the Swift system, we've now got the XRP Ledger, which basically eradicates the use of Swift. It's the new futuristic, up-to-date method of how money will be moved around the markets eventually. This method takes 3 seconds. It saves a total of 63% against what small to medium-sized banks or even large banks institutions that are currently having to use the Swift system for moving money. That's the saving that they can gain. Now, if we move over, I'm not too sure if you can see this, so I'll zoom in. So, market cap of XRP. Western Union's market cap is 2,500, so let's just say. Global non-cash transactions times 19 of the market cap of XRP. Now, if we go to the top, we've got Swift. That's 166 times the market cap of XRP. All the money in the Nostra Vostra bank accounts, which is basically what XRP is trying to do. It's trying to free up the idle capital that banks are having to use to deposit into banking systems throughout the world, where they're exposed to exchange differentials, rates could go down. For example, an American bank could put $1 billion into the European market. And the European market, let's say the euro being 124. Now, the euro could go down to 119. Now, that's the exposure of what XRP can eradicate. On top of that, that's 900 times the market cap of XRP. 900 times the market cap. The global transfer market, that's Swift, Fedwire, chips, Western Union, MoneyGram, TransferWise payment. The total scale of the global transfer market is $2.7 quadrillion. That's 90,000 times the market cap of XRP. Now, I know personally that doesn't mean to say that all these banks are going to use that system, XRP. But let's just say Ripple can corner the market and they can gain a very conservative 2% of this market. That still is 18,000 times the size of XRP. Now, I'm not trying to say that 18,000 times of this needs to be in Ripple's market cap, because that's the massive misconception which people are not understanding. It's not about the price of XRP times its circulating supply equals the market cap. That is how it is calculated, but it's not the principles of how it will be used. So if we go back to this photograph, now imagine this is the market cap of XRP. If bank from China wants to make a payment and sends it over into this market, that's a 3-second transaction where the liquidity and the needs and the actual use of XRP is only exposed for 3 seconds. So clearly that's not going to, this is the point of XRP. It's to remove the exposure, the volatility. Banks are only exposed to 3 seconds worth of volatility, which, hardly nothing, 9 times out of 10, will change in a massive discrepancy where the banks are going to be at a loss. So the purplefulness of what I'm trying to basically explain to you all, let's say that 19,000 worth of market cap of XRP is sat in here now. That would mean that the price per XRP would be $18,000 a coin. Now, I know, and so should everybody else, that it doesn't work like that because it's only an exposure for 3 seconds. So these could send 1 billion and it'd be sent to them in 3 seconds. So that billion worth of held XRP no longer has the use case. So it doesn't work like that, you see. How it will work is the volume driven through all these payment methods, constantly back and forth, needing to use the XRP ledger. So when it comes to doing the transfer rates, for example, these may have made a transaction. Okay, let's take this for an example. This banking institution has taken an example. It sent $1 billion for XRP. They bought XRP at $1 per coin. Let's just say $1 for argument's sake, because that's close to the price now. So it goes through there for 3 seconds at the XRP exchange rate and exchanges back into the Chinese currency. So that transaction's confirmed. That's $1 billion moved from A to B in 3 seconds with minor exposure. It's cost 63% less than the traditional SWIFT method that we usually use. Everybody's happy. The transparency's there. The protection's there. So what I'm trying to say now, let's just say all of a sudden all these markets then started flooding the XRP ledger with traffic. That then, because of the volume and the demand of the XRP token itself, is going to lift the price of the XRP. So this same 1 billion transaction now, the XRP exchange may have gone up to $10. So they'll be sending it. So it'll go from their 1 billion Japanese currency. It'll be exposed to this for 3 seconds and it'll come through, and they would have sent 1 billion over to China. Now that 1 billion for them stays the same, although the price of XRP is being raised dramatically because of the volume and the demand that is actually being asked for the Ledger. It still makes no effect on this transaction route at all. The only thing is, with XRP, how it will work is volume will drive the price. As the volume increases, the demand increases, the price increases. So if we look at a global transfer market, let's say most of the market now are going to use the XRP liquidity situation, because another main note that I've missed out, if we read this here, distributed ledger technology, and in particular the XRP ledger, will enable banks to settle cross-currency transactions in real time, something impossible today. This is a game-changing revolution. What this XRP ledger, is basically the eradicating the need for the nostro-vostro system. That there can then be freed up capital going back to the respective business owners who have been placed the money into those fucking accounts, basically just to enable the system that we use today. So we now have a 2.7 quadrillion market cap. It's 90,000 times the amount of XRP. Let's say in one single day, 45,000 worth of that volume has to pass through this ledger. That 45,000 worth of volume basically is going to bump the fucking life out of the value of XRP. Because if this, let's just get some maths out. Let's just get the calculator here and we'll just work out exactly on screen for you to actually look at what the actual purplefulness of what I'm trying to explain is. So we have 2.7 quadrillion. Okay, now I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to do that. Let's just call it 1 quadrillion. Okay, so that's 100 billion, and that's million, billion, millions, billions, that's trillions. We can only do that, so we'll times that by 10, by 100, so that's that. and then we'll divide that by the 100 billion amount of tokens that is available, because everybody seems to think 100 billion XRP tokens is. It's not. That would put the price of the XRP at 1 million. Now, I know it's not going to be 1 million, but this is what I'm trying to explain to you. What a lot of people are missing, that conception. It basically just means that this is going to drive the cross-border real-time gross settlement of transactions across the world in the future. If you can just use your imagination and just become out of this little tiny enclosed box that a lot of people are sat in today, who is saying that Ripple will not Ripple, XRP will not get past $1, it won't get past $2, it will never see $10. Are they fucking mad, is all I'm trying to say, because what we grasp as money is absolutely incomprehensible on the level of this here. As it states, XRP's market cap is 90,000 times smaller than the global transfer market. Now, I'm not too sure how much of this of volume goes into each day. That's why I said we'll do 1 quadrillion, which basically gave us the 1 million amount. Now, let's just say, if that's, let's just say that's the global, so it's 2.7, yeah, so we'll do that as much as we can. Oh, sorry, that's wrong, that's completely wrong. So it's 2.7 quadrillion. So what we have there is 2.7, yeah, so we'll times that by 100. That's our amount there, what we're looking for here. If we divided that global transfer market and we divided that by the days of the year, 365 days of the year, that's the amount that could be say is the daily amount of what is going through the 24-hour volume of XRP, of not XRP, of the global transfer market that XRP could poach. Now let's put XRP in its full supply, even though bear in mind this isn't its full circulating supply. Its circulating supply at the moment stands at around 39 billion. This is its total. Let's use its total as an example. That for the day is $7,584 per XRP in order to channel this movement. If we've divided that amount by the 356 days of the year. Now again, let's say it might not get all of that market, but even still, if we divide that by a tenth of the market, if XRP can grasp 1/10 of the global transfer market, which in my eyes by 2022 is more than possible, especially with the steps that they're moving at the moment, the partnerships that are flooding in, day out. We've got MoneyGram using the XRP into Ledger. We've got Western Union that are using it. We've got Qualix. We've got Mercury FX. We've got IDT Corporation. And now we have Cambridge. This is 6 financial institutions to date that are piloting the XRP into Ledger. One other misconception I also want to cover in this video is everybody says, oh, they're only using X-Current. The banks are only using X-Current. Oh, they signed up, that's great, but it's only X-Current. This again makes me laugh. How do you think the XRP Ledger is going to work? It's not just going to be dropped into the markets, into the banks. Oh, there you go. That's how it works. One, it's an untrusted technology at the moment as it stands, although Ripple are doing extremely, and when I say this, they're saying extremely well in keeping banks' confidence. They're signing up the new banks daily. But the interledger protocol of Ripple, this here, these channel paths, these pathways that Ripple are currently creating, if you want to call it the X-Current passage, this is the pathway that XRP needs to be built. The pathway is built by the X-Current, let's just say. The channels are created and then XRP dropped on top of it as a use, as to say, you can use this, you do not need to use it, but for any capitalist, it is definitely what they are going to do long term in the future for the savings. Now, it's the central banks, the ones, that will be gaining, as it is at the moment. They're the ones that are benefiting, the likes of JP Morgan and HSBC. Those are the big banks that are taking all the pie from the small to medium-sized banks who have no option but to use their system, thus creating the central banks and making them the big daddies of the environment, if you want to call it that. But no more. The difference is the small to medium-sized banks outpower the amount of central banks that there are. There's more of them globally. I'm not saying the central banks are going to go away. They're not. Central banks will try to create their own system of what we're saying, but Ripple, in my eyes, are too far ahead into the game. You're 5 years into, you know, what they are doing, the technology, what they're achieving, and you've got the partnerships there. XRP, when I see on YouTube, which I see a lot of the time, you know, for example, oh, Ripple can get to $600 with Google Play. Yeah, whoopie fucking do. What big picture are people missing? It's beyond me. I've had to do this video because I see a lot of people and I see a lot of misconception out there. I see a lot of people that are saying, oh, it can't do this and it can't do that. Listen, I've just shown you. This is the overall end game. You know, banks can send the money through the interledger if they want, ex-current. If they want to do a cross-border transaction, the XRP ledger is there for them. Okay, this is the current system we use. It's all the fucking dog shit, if you ask me. It's too long, there's too much friction, there's too much cost, there's only one winner, it's the central banks. We've got this as a global market. You know, this is the global transfer market that we are talking about. It's not no Western Union. You know, as excited as I was to hear Western Union was jumping on board, it's only because I know that we have a live customer. Well, not live at the moment because it's only in pilot phase, but what I'm trying to say is this is a live production that can now be judged from the outside for the banks who haven't yet, you know, started to participate in this new fintech technology, and they can see it's going to work for Western Union and then for the global non-cash transactions. But what I'm trying to say is the bigger picture is Ripple have created and are creating a machine that is going to absolutely change. It's going to change. You know, the financial institution that we have is outdated. It's ancient. It is a fossil compared to the fact. And I don't want to sound corny, but I am going to say it. As Brad Garlenhouse always says, we can live stream images from outer space, but it takes 5 days for me in the UK to send money to Japan. That is not technological advancement. That is, it's outdated, and it is going to change. So for everybody out there that says Ripple can't get to $1,000, honestly, just for 1 second, can you just please come from outside your box and just use your imagination, because it's imagination that drives technology advancements. Without imagination, we would all be in caves still with clubs and bats. Now, I've made this video because, for one, secondly, it's not clickbait what I've put for the title. For it, no way is it click. You know, this is a conservative guess. Again, conservative. We need to look into the future. This is going to be the future. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that will be disagreeing with everything I have said in this short video. That's fine. If you want to put that down into the comment sections below, that is also fine, because I'm more than happy to give every counter argument measure that I can against what your point is that you're making. But for me, Ripple, just watch this space with Ripple. That's all I'm going to say. You know, it's not the most professional video of this that I could have done today. I've just done this from the bottom of my heart with no script, top of my head, speaking passionately about something that I believe is going to change the world, and that is basically as far as I'm going to go with that one. If you have liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Obviously, it goes a mile for us. It gives us, you know, it shows that the community that we're providing for the community. We've got Love for Crypto on Twitter. We've got it on Instagram. We've got it on Facebook. If you want to listen to these type of videos, obviously hit the subscribe button below. But I'm going to leave it at that one today, guys. And yeah, honestly, get that Ripple and get it held, people.